You know what time it is. It's time for freaking Testbench Upgrades. So the base of my test bench is going to be the Asus TUF B360M-PLUS. This is a micro ATX board. It is an LGA 1151 socket. It's got dual PCI Express lanes. We've got 2 NVMe slots, 4 slots for DDR4 memory, and lots of I/O. We've got 4 USB 3.0, Ethernet, all our audio jacks, DisplayPort, HDMI, DVI, 2 USB 2.0, and that weird old connector. Not actually sure what that's called, but it's for old keyboards and mice. Honestly, not really sure why they still put that on newer motherboards. But this is an LGA 1151 socket motherboard, so obviously not the latest Intel generation, but the reason I went with an older one is because 8th and 9th gen CPUs, especially now in the used market, offer a lot of price to performance, and so that's kind of what I'm going for with this test bench. For the RAM, I went with 16 gigs. This is a 2x8 kit at 3200 megahertz by XPG. This is their GAMMIX D20 model. Super high performing and great RAM kit. I picked this up for $55 brand new on eBay, so not a bad deal. And by the way, guys, I will leave all the links down in the description below for all the parts that I purchased for this test bench. Now, interestingly enough, for this test bench, I am going for an Intel Core i5-8400. This is a 6-core, 6-thread that boosts up to like 4.9 gigahertz, I believe. So, interesting story. This is actually my first CPU from my very first gaming PC that I ever built. Sold it to a friend for 80 bucks. He recently switched over to an AMD Ryzen platform, and I bought this back off of him for another $80. And the reason I'm using this CPU is because I got a really good deal on it, because these are going for like $100 to $120. And I've used it before, and I know it's a really great performing CPU, and yeah, it's just a super solid budget CPU and should be able to get the job done for now. And then later down the road, I can obviously upgrade to something like an i7 9th gen or an Intel i9 9900K if I want to. Or again, because it's a test bench, I can always swap the whole platform over or upgrade the platform later down the line. Now, before you start typing away in the comment section, I understand that this DEEPCOOL Captain 240X is way overkill for the i5-8400, but the reason I am installing this cooler in my test bench is, again, if I want to upgrade the CPU to a higher end CPU, even like a 9900K or something like that down the line, I have the cooler that can handle it. So that's why I'm going with the Captain 240X. This is a 240mm AIO, and should keep the 8400 very nice and cool. And as for the test bench goes, I've already got a Corsair 1000 watt power supply on here and a 2TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive from the last test bench upgrades that I did. And so I'm keeping the power supply and the hard drive. Unfortunately, I'm running both the OS and all my games and benchmarking apps on the hard drive. But eventually I want to install an NVMe into the motherboard because it supports that now. So I'm definitely going to upgrade down the line. But this is what we're going to be building in so far. guys, so we've got the entire test bench built. Everything's plugged into it. So this is the moment of truth. I need to reach behind here and turn the power supply on. Here we go. Oh, yes, there we go. We have got a display. We've got it on both screens. Let's go. Oh, that is super exciting. Real quick, super awesome thing that I just noticed is that the TUF Gaming logo also lights up, and so it's synced with the cooler and everything, so that actually looks really cool. So guys, that is the Testbench Upgrades and kind of build thing. I haven't had this test bench up and running for quite a while now, which has been a huge pain in the butt because I've had to use my desktop for GPU benchmarks and parts testing and things like that, so it is so amazing to be able to have a test bench again, and a good one too, with actual like up-to-date specs and everything, compared to the old one, which had, I don't know, 3rd gen i5 or something like that. I can't exactly remember, but super awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.